here with my first guest of Know Your Neighbors. This is a segment totally ripped the idea off from Jeff at James Freddy's. He interviewed a few people. I think it's important for us to know each other. And tonight's guest is Shawn Goodson, the Velvet Hamma, for those of you who don't know him, and I will put his YouTube address here somewhere on the video. But Shawn's been a good friend to everybody in the garage. Say hi, Shawn.
What's happening, Mr. Porter?
Not much. It's been kind of slow going getting this off the ground, the Know Your Neighbors. Just, number one, finding people who are willing to do it. Number two, people who have the technical ability. But anyway, I knew it was going to be you because we talked this morning a little bit. I was laughing my ass off thinking back to my time in Florida, and I think you were one of the few people who was there when we almost burned Darren's house down.
I would say I was probably a part of that or a contributing factor to that. You know, sometimes you just don't want to trust the thermometer on a barbecue that's been loaned to you because you might not have any siding left on your house. Just a thought.
I can't remember. Was it Toe Wrecker and maybe Canada Catalyst were there as well? Might have been one other person. I can't remember. But bottom line, the smoker was going out, and we had some ribs that needed some extra heat.
Or so we thought.
Well, they needed a little extra heat. We gave them a lot. I think a bag or two of charcoal. Made for an entertaining evening, trying to put the flames out first off, but then save the ribs on top of that.
Yep, God save the meat. Absolutely.
Well, it worked out. I think we wound up eating the ribs the next day at the old extravaganza number 1, I guess is what I'd call that.
We got Hanson 265 Chevy from the Big Easy right there. Got some chicken, got some ribs.
That'd be the ground zero event for sure, and it was a fabulous event, I might add.
Oh man, I was just reminiscing about how much fun that trip was. But taking the Ghia down there, that was really the maiden voyage for the Ghia, and you know, nothing like figuring out if a car works or not, then drive it for a few thousand miles across the country.
Absolutely. Baptism by fire.
I don't know that I've ever heard the backstory, or maybe I have and just don't remember it. What got you into the bodywork?
I guess, you know, I've tinkered with it for a long, long time. And just like a lot of the fellas in the YouTube garage, you know, we all kind of came together at the same time, and I started watching a lot of videos to kind of up my game, because I could do the work, but I wasn't great at it, and I'm still not great. But the fact that we have this outlet to watch on YouTube and learn from other people, professionals that do this work every day, that is how I honed my skills to the level they're at, which is not the top, but it's somewhere in between to where I can actually get through a job and not feel like I fumbled the football at every turn.
I guess the thing I see is a lot of guys started by restoring their childhood car or their dream car, you know, fill in the blank, but you've, at least I don't remember you ever doing like a hot rod restoration.
No, and anybody who asks me, you know, they see the work that I do and they say, you must be a car guy, and I'll be honest, and I might need to duck because there'll be some tomatoes and eggs thrown. I'm not a car guy. I don't have an affinity for automobiles per se. I love the work that I do, but I've never really wanted or lusted after a hot rod or a restoration project. I've done a few, but it's not my first love. The bodywork is probably one of those things. It's just like any job. If you enjoy it, it's not work, and that's just what it is for me. So I got into it. It was a means of extra income, and that's where I am today.
And that's what you kind of do. I mean, you've definitely done some work on your own vehicles. I think the Duramax is your truck, and it seems like there's been another vehicle or two that seem like they're yours that you've done work on, but then you do work for other people.
Yes, you know, friends and family sort of thing, but at this point it's actually expanding word of mouth to the point where it's not just a hobby, and it's not just kind of a, hey, he does this on the side, do you need your bumper fixed or do you need your door ding fixed? It's kind of exploded from what it started out as. So there's always work to be done, and it's always been a secondary means of kind of pocket money, if you will. You know?
I think there's certain things that you and I might be cut from the same cloth a little bit more than people might realize. My question is, do you know the difference between 388 and 412?
Well, sure. I mean, it's a gear ratio, but do I know the actual difference? No. Do I know? Do I know what makes this car or that car more sought after than the next? No, I don't know that. But what I feel like I'm good at, and I think you are too, it's sitting in front of a keyboard or picking up the telephone and calling somebody who does know. You know how to find the answer.
Yep.
And that's 90% of the gig. If you know where to look for the answers, you can do all the work. You don't have to be crazy about it.
People start spitting out numbers, and I try and repeat them, and it's like scrambled eggs. But if you want to talk about whether square headlights or round headlights look better on any vehicle, I'm much more prepared to have that conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would totally agree. And, you know, talking about being cut from the same cloth, yeah, we both may not be car guys, but the one thing that I know you do and I kind of do is you kind of jump feet first into everything that you do. You do enough research to make you dangerous, and then you go get your feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how I learned to do body work. That's how I learned. I know you did all the upholstery in your Gia, and I'm pretty sure that you don't have any formal background in that. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't.
And you did a killer job on that. I do the same thing. I do some upholstery work. I have a similar machine to yours. You know, it's things like that. You don't have to be a car guy to do it. Just jump in and get it done.
What's next? You're doing the truck now,
next?
right? You got the truck painted. I'm guessing the truck gets loaded on a pallet and goes out the door soon.
Yeah, it's going to get loaded. They're coming at the end of the week to pick it up. They're going to pick it up with a crane truck, and I'm not sure how we're going to sling it up, but I'd really hate for them to drop it on the side of my parking lot and have it have to go right back in the door. But I have a 2014 Chevy Traverse. That's a front-end collision job that comes in this weekend, and then when that one goes out the door, there's an '08 GMC Sierra that comes in front-end collision. After that, everything else is kind of on hold.
I don't know how you were brought up, but my suspicion is your parents probably worked their ass off.
Yep, that was pretty much it. But I definitely wasn't one of those kids who, you know, got a new bike. I got an old bike and I got to fix it. I got an old used vehicle when I was 16, and I was thankful that my parents helped me buy it and I fixed it, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's where I get it from, and the ability and the want and the need to go do things. It's a matter of using your hands and fixing things. I just can't leave anything alone. If it's broken, I will tear it apart because it's already junk. Am I right or am I right?
I tell people that all the time. If it's already junk, you can't make it more junk. It's junk as it is. You can only make it better.
That's why I got into auto body, because everybody has a rusty vehicle where I live. So there's a market and there's a need to repair rust. It's not a fun place to be. There's plenty of guys who do it. There's not many who want to do it. So enter Velvet Hammer.
You don't have a pile of I'm going to get to this later projects.
I don't do that. I am a start the project, finish the project. There is no unfinished work at my house. There are projects that haven't been started, but there are none that have been started and are not finished. I'm a completion person. I'm the finisher. I'm the one that unscrews the screwed up, and if I don't get it completed, I work on it until it's complete. That's how it works. That's the way I am programmed. Not everybody can fix things, and there's guys, and I think you're one of them. You will start a project and just go. You just build a guitar. You're building a CNC machine. You're doing all these very technical things, and yes, the guitar appears to be finished. The CNC machine I know is in the works. I know you're still trying to tweak and get that to where you want it, and you're making you're making tools, and if you're making a tool, chances are that tool is going to fix a lot of other broken things, or build parts, or do something like that. You know, everybody knows somebody that has a pile of junk lawnmowers, and I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of beside myself on how we all kind of just melded together for Project 54. There were no arguments. There were no, not really any headbutting that I can remember. And if there was, it's probably because I couldn't hear it because my ears were so plugged up from being sick. I didn't know what the hell was happening half the time. I just kind of was there in zombie mode and just plug and chug, man. And that's what I think is the cool thing about the guys in the garage. I mean, everybody just kind of has a common goal. And the people that show up for an event like that are the people who can play with others. And, you know, that works awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic that we're able to do that. For sure.
That goes in the category of funnest things I probably don't ever want to do again.
Yeah, well, from a managerial and working standpoint, I mean, you pulled a lot of things together that probably normally wouldn't come together without the right people pointing the right people in the right direction. 3 rights don't make a wrong, but 4 lefts do, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. And I haven't even had anything to drink. I'm just sleep deprived. What's your next project?
I've got a bead on a Volkswagen single cab pickup, and if that comes to me here fairly soon, that'll be the next project. If not, obviously we're going to finish up the CNC, but then I'll start on the next guitar, which I may get that going anyway, and just kind of work on it in my spare time. But it's going to be so damn technical. I think it's going to take almost just pure focus while I'm doing it.
The single cab would be an awesome project, and I have to tell you, I was never a Volkswagen person, but after watching you do the Ghia and seeing some of these other cars, I think I could be. I like your car an awful lot. I think that could be a future project in the garage. I don't know.
There's something about the Volkswagens, and the older I get, the more I find I like them. I liked them as a young guy. Wasn't a big fan of the Bug, but I liked buses and Ghias. But the older I get, the more I like the whole line of them. They're just neat little cars.
So I think that's the reason why nobody wants to switch, because of that. There's no incentive to switch. You don't get a big gold smiley face or a gold star next to your shop sign because you're a good boy and you're being more eco-friendly.
I would argue that. I think Al Gore comes by and gives out free hugs.
Does he give hugs? Is he okay? Maybe I did not realize that. I'm not a big fan. Although he did invent the internet. Am I right or am I right?
We're living proof right here.
Right.
Yeah. If you
Thank you, Al Gore.
If you haven't sprayed waterborne paint, there's no way you could have known about the free hugs. So, something to look forward to.
Yeah, if he's still alive by the time it's mandated, then God bless, right?
That's right. I don't think I'll ever get my Al Gore hug, unfortunately.
This has been great. I enjoyed this.
It's going to be unfortunate because I know I'm going to have to chop it down to 5 minutes or something. Maybe I can put a longer version out there for the people who want to drool on their keyboards as they fall asleep. But it's been fun chatting for sure.
Oh, absolutely. You can dice and slice and do whatever you got to do, man.
Well,
it's all about the journey.
Maybe we can have a 10-part, 10-week long, just one segment a week. Everybody gets a little bit of the story.
Oh, they'll be dying for more or looking for a way to off themselves. One of the two.
The cliffhangers, just mid-sentence, just and tune in next week. I can see it now.
Yep.
This is YouTube genius.
That's right. That's what you got to do. Keep them wanting more.
Well, Shawn, thanks for joining me on the first installment of Know Your Neighbors. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Hopefully this doesn't get edited too far down and not make any sense, but Shawn and I have been on here for a good solid hour.
No, it doesn't feel like it. That's the good thing about the guys that you meet. You know, it seems like you've known each other forever. So thanks for having me, Greg. I appreciate it, and guess we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Hey, don't let your meatloaf.
You neither. Chasing Dean's sheep? That's not fair. Poor things.
Well, just the fact that Dean has sheep, you got to admit that's just a little off.
Yeah, but yeah, okay.
Well, okay, you got to list out the name of the farm animals that he has. Sheep. And
There
it
you go.
stops. If it was, yeah, he's got cows and chickens and pigs and sheep, yes, it fits. But, okay, he's got sheep.
And cats. They have plenty of cats.
They've got a fuckload of cats. Fuckload is the right word there.
Yeah.